Hello, welcome to So Much Sewing. This channel is all about my home sewing adventures. My name is Catherine and I welcome you. Today what I'm going to do is talk you through these three makes that you can see here. I didn't put a video out last weekend. You may or may not have noticed. Last weekend I just did sewing. That's all I did is sewing. For the longest time I've sort of had one video that I've got edited and I'll upload usually on a Saturday or a Sunday, and I've usually got one milling around in the background where I've just got to edit it and finish it off. But I've got all behind. I didn't have any videos sort of filmed ready to go, and last weekend I just spent all weekend sewing, so I didn't get any filming done. Actually, I'll tell you why I spent all weekend sewing in a minute. Today I've just been out. I've had lunch with my sister Sarah, and I met up with Fiona from New Zealand Stitchbird. If you haven't gone and had a look at Fiona's channel before, please go and have a look. She's another New Zealand, obviously, because I met up with her for lunch today, but she is in Canterbury, New Zealand, like I am. She is a sewing vlogger. Her channel has some tutorials, some sew-alongs, and just sort of general sewing chit-chat. So I'll link her down below. Please go and have a look at her if you would like to see more New Zealand sewing content. So I got home from lunch and I was just about to start filming this video, and our neighbours came round for a chat. So it's now 4:30. And I was hoping to be all done and dusted by now, but that's okay. First world problems. So the first make I will talk to you about is this one I'm wearing here. This is a green, obviously it's green, merino. I purchased this merino from Trade Me, which is like our Craigslist or Gumtree or eBay here in New Zealand. What did I get? I got about 3.2 meters, I think, but it did have along about 40 centimeters in from the selvage. It did have some holes running along down the fabric. And so I didn't quite have 3.2 meters to work with. I had to cut around that, obviously. But what I've done here is I've made the Takara dress by Seamwork. I've made this pattern, a number of times now, and I just really like it. It's very comfortable to wear and it's easy to make. I've made a few changes in that I've widened the hole here because it was quite firm, and then the sleeve was quite firm fitting. So I've put extra. What I did is I cut across the pattern here and just put a piece of paper behind it and sort of made this wider. Then I made the top of the sleeve a little bit wider, which meant that down here became wider, so I had to bring that in. There was quite a bit of jiggery-pokery. And then I put a cuff, a doubled over cuff, big long cuff on the end of the sleeve, because this is just a 3/4 sleeve. And the other thing I did with this, which I had not done before, is I didn't have enough to make the whole dress double, but I did put another layer on the front here. Under here, there's another layer there. I had to put a seam down the middle of it because I didn't have enough fabric. But anyway, so that's what I've done is this is double front for extra warmth and just a single layer at the back. And I really like the way it's turned out. I've worn it to work, and the ladies at work all said they really liked it. It was unsolicited. They said they really liked it. But there is one fault with this, which you may have noticed, but I don't know if anybody else would notice. For some reason, I don't know what happened, but when I put the front piece on, you can see what's happening here. I really don't know why that is happening. Like I showed you, I had to put a seam down the front, center front, And I'm just wondering, I was aware of it when I was cutting it out, and aware of the fact that I needed to put a seam allowance on rather than cut it on the fold. I needed to, cut 2 layers of it and put a seam allowance on it. So whether I actually forgot to put the seam allowance on it, I'm not sure. Maybe that's why this is happening, because the bottom layer is narrower than the top layer. I don't really know what's happened. So I am a little bit disappointed about that. I can't lie. But, when I've got a necklace on like this, I don't think the average person is going to notice that. Plus, I've got a little bit of fabric left. I could make a cowl to go around, wear a scarf, that sort of thing. So, yes, a little bit disappointing in that regard. But other than that, it's very comfortable to wear. Having the double lay in the front makes it a bit warmer. And, this is just... The Takara dress by Seamwork is a bit of a go-to for me. It's just so easy to make and it's so easy to wear that I know I'll just keep making that pattern right into the future. It's just one of those go-to patterns. We all have them, don't we? And that is one of mine. The next thing I have to show you is a Nenuphar jacket by Deer and Doe. This jacket I've made before. I've made it in a sort of a navy linen, which I just love. It's just a really comfy jacket. This I've made in a wool. I've called it a wool twill over on my Instagram page, and maybe it's a flannel. I'm not really sure, but it's quite a brushed feel on the reverse side, and it does have a sort of a a bit of a twill look to it on the front side. So this jacket I've worn several times. Again, I got good comments from it from people at work, and it's just really handy because it looks quite smart when it's dressed up, with like I made my entry into the Sew April Blouse 2025. I made a pussy bow. Why do I always have trouble with that? It's not pussy blow, it's pussy bow blouse. So I made my pussy bow blouse and it looks really nice with that. So I can dress it up, but I can also dress it down a bit more casually. It's a really great pattern. I love this pattern. It's got the little gathers on the back there, on the back yoke. It's got nice wide sleeves. There is another sleeve option that you can use. You can have like a sleeve to here and then do a gathered more full sleeve, but I just like this sort of, it's almost a kimono-y kind of a sleeve. And I love these notches here on the collar and also on the pocket. So this is just really, really a great winter jacket to wear to work. Just as a layer, I'm finding layers is what I need. I'll get into the office and it's freezing and then the sun starts shining through the window and then it gets really hot. So I have to take my layers off and on. And so this jacket is perfect for that. And then the third thing to talk to you about is this vest. It's the Billy vest by Merchant and Mills. My husband went on a distinguished gentleman's motorbike ride. It's a global organisation where they collect money for prostate cancer. So all around the world, they do this bike ride, which I guess is in the spring coming into summer for most of the rest of the world. But for us in New Zealand, of course, it's autumn, almost winter. So it's really a bad time of year for people to be going out riding motorbikes. Luckily, it did rain and was a bit drizzly, but not too bad on the day. But of course, it's the distinguished gentleman's ride. Everybody dresses up in their suits. And, they go out and ride their motorbikes and they collect money for charity. And so this was on last Sunday, but on Saturday at lunchtime, last week, we decided that Chris needed a vest, a waistcoat to wear the very next day for his gentleman's ride. What he had done in the past is he had bought a couple of sort of op shop or charity suits to wear for the ride, because he's not a suit wearer in his everyday life. He's he works with his hands as an engineer. And so he's not a suit wearer. So to go on these distinguished gentlemen's ride, he has in the past bought, charity op shop suits to wear for the ride. But, he's a man in his early 50s. He's not, a standard size. He's got a bit of a belly on him. And so the suits, they really don't fit him. And so I always thought that they didn't really do him justice. So we decided that, we would put him in an outfit that felt more like him, more like his version of a distinguished gentleman, rather than, somebody else's version of a distinguished gentleman. I thought this was going to be a simple make, but actually there's a lot of pieces to it. There's a lot of facings. It's face, and they're all in separate pieces, which you have to piece together. And then, of course, you have to cut out the interfacing for the facings, and then you have to stick all the interfacing onto the facings. Like, it wasn't a difficult make, it was an easy make, but it was quite involved in all the steps. And, when you're sort of sewing against the clock, I actually felt like I was on the Great British Sewing Bee. It was actually kind of fun, kind of interesting to work to a deadline like that. So we decided he needed a vest at 12 o'clock on the Saturday. About 9 o'clock on the Saturday, I finished up for the day. Then I got up on Saturday morning. I had one armhole to top stitch by that stage, and we hadn't put the snaps on, so I got Chris to help me put the snaps on in the morning. So that was kind of fun. But I really love this Billy vest, and if you've got a bloke in your life, he might like one of these too. I've made this in a boiled wool. The pattern fabric suggestions are things like oilskin or canvas, or denim, any kind of mid to heavyweight structured fabric. But I used boiled wool. They didn't mention boiled wool, but I just thought it would work. And I really think it does. This is one of those makes, it was a spur of the moment make, but it's one of my best makes for a long time. I love the way it turned out. My husband loves it. He looks really nice in it. And and I've used up some material that I had left over from a jacket that I made for myself probably a couple of years ago. I had just enough to make this. So I'm really happy that I got to use up a remnant of really great, lovely boiled wool. Not a scrap of it left. So all round, it was just really good going. I just love this make. I would say go down a size. If you're making this for your bloke, I would say go down a size. It's too big for him. There's a lot of, especially in the back, it seems to be quite, too big for him. So we're going to try and shrink this in the wash with some hot water. I'm going to make it for him again, but I will make the size down, even though I'm going to be making it in a woven fabric instead of a boiled wool, which has got quite a bit of give in it. I'm still going to go down a size because it's just way too big on him. Way too big on him. Anyway, I hope you've had a great week, and I hope you're going to get lots of sewing done this weekend. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Please let me know what you're up to in the comments down below. I know some of you have got some interesting projects on the go, so I'd really love to get a catch up on those. And I'll see you next week. Thanks for stopping in. Bye.